What up, what up, what up, Fin fans? The 2025 NFL Draft has came and gone. Who did we get? And better yet, who did we not get?
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a
What up, what up, what up, what up, Fin fans? How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everybody doing this lovely Monday morning? Monday. Good morning. First off, I need to apologize. I gotta apologize. We had talked about me chugging some beers on the first day of the draft. Some people sent me some money in Cash App. A couple of people, Bonnie, I want to apologize to you, and Robert Hendricks, I want to apologize to you. I had no idea that you had sent Cash App money for me to chug a beer. That's why I didn't chug a beer. I owe you one. Next time we do an evening show, I got you. I swear to God, I promise. I'm sorry about that. I do apologize. But I don't check my Cash App. I don't really use Cash App all too much. So I had no idea that you guys had sent that, but I appreciate it. And I definitely got you next time we do a nighttime podcast. I got you on 2 beers. I swear to God. But thank you. Good morning. So yeah, the NFL draft has come and gone. A lot of opinions out there on how the Miami Dolphins did, from fans, from the media, from, mixed reactions. You obviously can't make everybody happy. Everybody's there's always gonna be the other side that's gonna complain that you picked the wrong person, you took the wrong person, you did this when you should have did that, and so on and so forth. But like I said, you're going to get that no matter what. And, maybe we sound like that to the other side. If you think the Miami Dolphins had a fantastic draft, we sound like that to them. We think They think that we're the annoying ones, that we don't know what we're talking about. And if you hated the draft, the people that love the draft are gonna, but you can never make everybody happy. But one thing I know for sure is that the Miami Dolphins finally started to address the trenches. Could they have done more on the offensive side of the ball? Yeah, I think they could have. We took one offensive lineman in the draft. Especially with how many decent guys were out there, I was hoping that we would take another one. And then the defensive side of the ball, we took 3 nose tackles. 3 guys with similar play style, which I'm super stoked that we addressed the defensive line. I'm super stoked that we got these big maulers up front now. But maybe we should have switched out one of them nose tackles for a pass rushing defensive tackle. You know what I mean? There was a lot of good guys, and obviously you can criticize the draft, and you can give it you can write a love story about it if that's the way you feel. But I think that, the first 2 rounds, I think Chris Grier did a really good job. A much better job than I ever anticipated him doing. The rest of the draft, I feel like was hit and miss. I like some of the picks. Other picks had me scratching my head. So let's get our morning hellos out the way. Craig, good morning. Jose, good morning. Michael, good morning. Sackman, good morning. Michael loves the Ali pick. Glenn, good morning. Edward, good morning. So today after 4 p.m., Miami will be able to sign free agents. That's correct. They no longer got to worry about them comp picks. They can go out and sign people without that being affected. I expect Chris Grier to be aggressive in his search of corners. I expect him to be aggressive in finding some corners for this team. Because, Glenn, I got responsibilities during the day, brother. I can't be... Listen, I don't drink as much as I used to. Bonnie, I hope you heard my apologies. I hope you heard my apologies about the $5 for the beer. I did not see you sent me $5, or I absolutely would have did it. But I definitely got you next time I do a night show. Jose, good morning. Shake, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Someone who said they're 1,000 times happy. Edward said he is. Oh no. Who said they're 1,000% happy? Jose said he's 1,000% happy. I wouldn't jump out that far, brother. Chris Grier did a much better job than I anticipated. Bonnie said it was a solid draft. I give a B+. It was a solid draft, Shake says. Grandizer said, what up, Big C? How you feeling? Listen, I'm feeling all right. I need to get some glasses. I squint to read too much in it. It's killing me. I can't. After I squint for so long, my vision goes so blurry, and then I can't read nothing. Scotty, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Jose says, now, have we come to a consensus on how to say this name? Jonah Savania. Let me know if that's correct. Is it Savanea? Jonah Savania. Jose says Savania is absolutely the best pick to get a Samoan from Tua's island in high school to protect him. You can't do better. He's going to protect Tua with everything he got. Rasul Douglas seems to be linked name. Sounds like another Poyer. I think Rasul Douglas will be better than Poyer. I think he's got more. I think he's got more left in the tank. But that is the name that I'm hearing the most, Scotty. That is the name that I'm hearing the most. And Grier traded up to get his guy, boss move. Big C, you didn't ask, but my only issue with the draft was Ewers. Was hoping we'd get either Kobe Bryant or Willie Lampkin center or Hunter. What's crazy, Grandizer, is both those guys went undrafted. And I'm sick that, maybe Chris Grier tried to bring them in and they didn't come, but if he didn't try to bring those two in, that's depressing. That's depressing. Kobe Bryant and Willie Lampkin went undrafted. We could have brought them in as undrafted free agents. Now, I don't want to assume that Chris Grier didn't try, but he went. It seems like we'll talk about undrafted free agents next video, but it seems like he went real heavy with the wide receivers in undrafted free agents. I would have liked, Edward says, I would have liked another guard. One injury away from Liam starting. You're absolutely right. We are getting older. Yeah, got to get Readers' dog. Man, Scotty, I don't know if I'd go as high as an A. I don't know if I'd go as high as an A, but it was a good draft. We'll get our draft right. I'll give you my grades here in a moment. He got 2 starters and some rotational players. Jonah Savanea. I've heard Savanea. Hewers was ranked number 3 among quarterbacks coming into the draft. I mean, Hewers was a big name coming into this draft. I mean, if he was on the cover of video games, Ewers was a big name coming into this draft. Not this draft, but this season, this college season. And he just didn't live up to the hype. He had an off year. And maybe that was the pressure of Arch sitting behind him. Who knows? But Texas had a lot of talent surrounding Ewers too. So it's a little depressing. Well, it's a little worrisome that I wouldn't say worrisome because he's our 3rd string quarterback right now. It's troublesome that he didn't play lights out with as much talent as he had on that Texas team. If he is healed up by camp, Jason Marshall, cornerback, Florida, could be a steal. I forgot all about him. He was a projected 3rd, the 5th rounder, a physical outside corner. I heard that, a lot of people are saying that he just lacks effort. You know what I mean? He lacks effort. He's got the injury. It's okay. It took most of us 6 months to pronounce Tagovailoa correctly. I can't wait to see what Weaver and our secondary coach will do with both Jason Marshall and Dante Trader. I don't think much. I think you're reading too much into it. These guys are not going to – I don't see either one of them getting significant play time. I don't see either one getting significant play time. Could I be wrong? Yeah. I know we got a need for both safety and corner, but I don't see either of those guys getting much play time at all. We're gonna get into the undrafted free agent sack, man. After all these years, I cannot understand for reaching for a player, and you have 1 pick each round. Yeah, Willie Lampkin's gone now. He's gone now. The Rams scooped him up, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it might have been the Rams. But yeah, I mean, I would have loved Willie Lampkin. Willie Lampkin was a second round talent. He was just so undersized, but he's a beast. He's a beast. I don't know why Kobe Bryant wasn't drafted, but I think we should have took a flyer on him. But let me get into my thought process, my thoughts on these guys, the draft picks. I always get into the comments too much, and then the point of the video never makes its way across. So we came into the draft. We didn't know Will Johnson was going to fall the way he fell. There was questions about his injury concern coming into the draft. Again, I don't think anybody thought that Will Johnson was going to fall the way that he fell. There was concerns about his long-term injury, his health long-term, how long he was going to actually have in the league. He's got a degenerated knees, some issue with his knee that is going to continue to get worse over the years. If he could have gave you 7-8 years, I'd have been cool with taking Will Johnson. He's such a phenomenal talent. But we had talked about addressing the trenches. I only thought there was one premier boundary corner. I know people thought Jahdae Barron is another option at the cornerback position to play boundary. I see him more of a slot guy, even a safety, playing all over the field. Not so much a boundary guy. So I did not want Jahdae at 13. I thought that would have been foolish. So with our first round pick at number 13, we select big defensive tackle, the big man, Kenneth Grant. I love this pick. I think let me try to get myself on camera. Shoot. Which way am I going? What the heck? Oh, it's not even using my camera. It's using this one. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry about that. It had me on the wrong camera for some reason. I don't quite understand that. My bad though. Kenneth Grant, pick number 13. Listen, this guy is a mountain of a man. What's he? 6'3", 6'4", 200 or 340 pounds. Absolute monster for the University of Michigan. PFF said it was an above average pick. Would I liked us to have traded down a little bit to grab Kenneth Grant? I would have. Grant is a disruptive run defender with a quick first step and active hands to slip blocks. He runs well for his size and makes plays in pursuit. His arms are long and he attacks blockers. Grant can anchor when he keeps his pads down. He pushes the pocket and gets off blocks. He's an all-right rusher, the passer. He flashes the ability to win with his hands and works. He's constantly double teamed. He reads the quarterback and gets his hands up, which is huge. And he gets his hands up in the passing lane. And he had 12 passes defended over the past 2 seasons. Like I said, 6'4", 330 pounds. He's been as big as 360 pounds. He ran a sub 540 at 360 pounds. The guy is an athletic freak. He's going to demand double teams. And, his stats might not be gaudy. But guess what? He's going to allow other people to eat. I love the pick. Do I wish we could have got an extra second by trading down 20 and getting Kenneth Grant? I do. But I'm glad that we got Kenneth Grant instead of missing out on him. I would have rather us take Kenneth Grant at 13 than to trade back and risk missing out on him. I think this is an A pick. A lot of people are saying he's not an every down player. He's a situational player. He just can play rundowns. I don't see that. The guy is an athletic freak. Why can't he be an every down player? What's the reasoning? I see this guy as a bigger, more athletic Christian Wilkins. He's a bigger, more athletic Christian Wilkins that is going to demand double teams constantly. Good luck just having your guard. Good luck just having your center. Try to stop this guy. Good luck. And I have to feel that Chris Grier, Mike McDaniel, Anthony Weaver have some image in their head where they're playing Kenneth Grant and Jordan Phillips at the same time. And good luck trying to block both those young men. We're going to talk more about Jordan Phillips here in a moment, but Kenneth Grant, in my opinion, I'll give the pick an A-. I'll give it an A-. It was a position of need. Probably the biggest holes that we had on this team was defensive tackle. We only had 2 legit defensive linemen on this team. I love the Kenneth Grant pick. But Scotty, that's what people are saying. It's not me saying it, Scotty. I think the guy can play every down. I mean, what's the play against I wish I had the play. I tried to download it. The play against Penn State where he tracked down the running back 25, 30, 40 yards downfield. He's athletic. He's athletic enough to play every down. Kenneth Grant is an absolute monster. Again, we addressed the trenches. We got our guy. I love the pick. I'm going to give it an A- just because, it would have been nice. If I was the Miami Dolphins, I would have fleeced the Colts. The Colts picked right behind us. We knew they needed a tight end. Tyler Warren was on the board. I would have called the Colts and been like, listen, I'm taking Tyler Warren unless you send me a 5th rounder. I would have played the hell out of him. I'd have said, I'm taking Tyler Warren unless you give me a 5th rounder. But I love the Kenneth Grant pick 100%. I'm going to give it an A-. We give it an A-. Next up on the board, you got Jonah Savania. Offensive tackle, guard, Arizona. Again, another area of need on this team. Again, another trench player. Right now, we had Liam Eichenberg starting at guard. Liam Eichenberg is our starting guard at this moment until we drafted Jonah Savania. Jonah Savania, he can play tackle, he can play guard. Obviously, I see him playing guard for the Miami Dolphins. He's Samoan, went to the same high school as Tua. He's 6'4", 324 pounds, big, huge guy. He lined up at right tackle, left tackle, right guard in college. At the combine, he tied for the second fastest 10-yard split out of all the offensive linemen. He ran a 4.95 40-yard dash. So he's athletic enough to get out to that second level of players that is critical to the scheme that Mike McDaniel likes to run. Those numbers are super impressive for someone that weighs 324 pounds. He played guard in 4 games in 2023. He's a better pass blocker on the inside than at tackle. Savania's length and frame make it tough to get across him when he plays inside, which is huge. He moves well enough to mirror when his footwork is sound. He's strong enough to anchor, and he wins with his hands. He's primarily played offensive tackle, but he's gonna be a guard for us. But if we need him at tackle, he can push out to there. He's not a fundamentally sound run blocker, but that's something that he can learn. He can be coached up. He's big enough to ward off defenders and strong enough to get push. This guy is an upgrade for the Miami Dolphins. I love this pick too. My only issue with this pick is how much we gave up for him. I would have liked to seen us not touch that number 90 pick. I wish the Miami Dolphins didn't touch that number 90 pick. That's the only issue I have with this draft choice. There was no guards or tackles taken in between pick 37 and 48. So did we necessarily need the trade up? Did we need the trade up here? Big C, yeah, they've talked. They went to the same high school. They're both Samoan. They're both from the same town. So, yeah, I mean, Tua and him are already friends. They already got a relationship. See, Grandizer, there was a lot of talented players on the board in the 3rd round that we could have grabbed. You know what I mean? I would have loved to see us grab Cam Scatterbo. That's a player that we missed out on because we traded that third round pick away. Marcus Membu, another guard, another tackle. I would have been happier trading away next year's 3rd rounder. Well, Bonnie, there was no other guards or tackles taken between 37 and 48. And that's not to say that someone wanted to select Jonah if he was there, but Irsay was there. Irsay grades out very similar to Jonah. And no one went up and grabbed Irsay, which you think there would have been much more of a what's the word I'm looking for? There would have been more urgency to go up and grab Irsay since Jonah was off the board. So the fact that we took Jonah and nobody felt the need to rush up and get their guard before they were gone, it makes me wonder if we had to trade up. This team had too many holes to be giving up 3rd rounders. You know what I mean? There was too many holes on this team to give up 3rd rounders. Scotty, I understand that just because no other offensive guards or no other offensive tackles went doesn't mean he would have still been there. I get that. And I'm all right with trading up. I just wish we would have gave up something else. Give up next year's pick. We got too many holes on this team. I don't know about that, Scotty. I mean, let's be easy, bro. I don't see it. It's a proven fact that, once you see someone come off the board, the NFL teams start to scramble and then a run goes on players because teams don't want to miss out. You know what I mean? We didn't need to trade this year's third. We could have traded next year's third. We have too many holes on this team to be trading away all our picks. And listen, I love the pick. I'm glad we got him. I just wish we wouldn't have gave up the third round pick. And you can't make me see otherwise that we, with as many holes as we have, that we should be trading away our third round pick. You trade away a third round pick next year. That third round pick next year would have got the job done. So after Jonah, I love the pick. I'm going to give the pick. I'm going to give this pick a B plus. Jonah fills a hole for us. Again, I wish we would have addressed the offensive guard position. I wish we would have got at least one more. Scotty, you've seen over and over and over again that when a player is picked at a certain position, teams start scrambling and they go on runs go on players because teams don't want to miss out. You've seen it over and over and over again. When you have as many holes as we do, listen, I love the pick. We needed offensive guard, but that was I would have liked to give up a third next year instead of this year. We can't be blind about it neither, Grandizer. You can't just, because you like the guy, you can't be blind to the fact that we need a bunch of guys. I mean, it's not for you to buy. It's how I feel. I'm not here to make you feel any type of way about your feelings. You know what I mean? And maybe, he might have been gone, but could we have not figured out another way to trade up to get him without giving up our third rounder? I know we weren't filling every hole, but a third round pick is pretty valuable. And there was a lot of quality guys left. There was a lot of good players left. But anyway, we trade away our third round pick. Our next pick's at 114. 114, we trade that away. We get a 6th rounder, a 3rd rounder in 2026. Again, it's kind of mind-blowing to me that we did that. We have too many holes on this team to not be picked, especially since we gave up our 3rd rounder. How are we going to go up and give up our 4th rounder? Miller, I don't think one pick next year is going to alternate the future. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we trade the 3rd round. We trade our 4th round pick, which is even more head scratching to me since we didn't have a pick in the 3rd round. So why are we trading away our 4th round? I like having a 3rd rounder next year. Don't get me wrong. But if we're trying to win this year, it was unexpected that the Jalen Ramsey thing came up. It was unexpected that Tyreek was going to continue to get in trouble. You can expect that Teron Armstead left. I would say it was a little surprising. I mean, not totally surprising, but a little surprising that Calais Campbell left. So we had a lot of bad things happen to this team this year. So you got to make up for that some way. And trading away our third-round pick wasn't what are you talking about, Scotty? Complain for 15 minutes. We gave up our third, then say a third round next year means nothing. How did I say a third round next year means nothing? A third round next year means less than a third round this year. Just like a first round this year means less than a first round next year. Don't put words in my mouth, bro. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Look at it. Look at the value chart. Like, come on, man. You're doing extra right now. Scotty can't always be right, bro. Not everybody got to always agree with what Scotty says. I'm not saying a third round pick doesn't mean nothing next year. But with a team that has as many holes as we do, that third round pick was more valuable to this team this year. How did I say that it means nothing? I didn't say that it means nothing. You're tripping right now. You're putting words in my mouth. A third round this year is more valuable than a third round next year. I don't care what Scotty has, bro. Like, I'm not trying to be difficult or a jerk. You know what I mean? Regardless, what I'm saying, listen to my words. What I'm saying is a third rounder this year is more valuable than a third rounder next year. The fourth rounder this year was more valuable. That fourth rounder this year to us is more valuable than a third rounder next year. We needed more players. Yeah, we needed players now. So, yes, the pick is more valuable now. We have so many holes now. You guys so worried about the future. I'm worried about filling this team out now. I'm not saying a third doesn't mean nothing next year, but I'm saying a fourth rounder this year, we need the picks now. That's what I'm saying. Again, I'm not trying to rub anybody the wrong way. I just think if we could have traded a third next year instead of this year because we have so many holes, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, we trade away the fourth round pick for a sixth round and a third next year. Listen, that third's going to be great for us next year. It's going to be great for us next year. But again, we have a lot of holes that we need to address this year, and we weren't able to do that because we're trading away picks. That takes us into the fifth round. We take cornerback Jason Marshall Jr., cornerback from Florida, at 150. I feel like this was a reach. I feel like this pick was a reach, especially with other players that we had that were available on the board. Or no, I skipped over Jordan Phillips. My bad. See, I'm all flustered now. I don't like to get my sometimes people aren't, let me say this and then I'll move on. People aren't always perfect. So maybe I said something that you took away that I didn't mean for it to, maybe I didn't execute what I was trying to say the proper way. But I know what I'm trying to say So maybe it came off a different way to you, or maybe I said it in a way that wasn't correct. So I apologize for that. And everybody's got different opinions. You know what I mean? But I just feel like there's a lot of holes on this team, and we needed to. I'm worried about competing this year. I hate to have a down year. I hate to give a season away, and that's all I'm saying. Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, Maryland, pick 143. I absolutely love this pick. Love. Above average pick, PFF says. Listen, Jordan Phillips is a young kid. He's young. He's only 20 years old. He's a student of the game. You know, I really think that Jordan Phillips has the potential to really be a star. I really do. I think this kid can be a star. He has the want to get better. He has the want to be great. I love this pick. Let me see. He's 6'2", 312 pounds, so not quite as big as Kenneth Grant, which not most people aren't. I love that in his background he has wrestling. That's huge for hand placement, but not body manipulation, how to move people out of the way. I love that. He competed as a weightlifter, so he's super strong. He's got a great lower center of gravity, great lower body strength. It makes it tough to move him off the ball. With just one blocker. He stays low and maintains his base. He pressures blockers off with his frame and gets off blocks. He slips blocks and with his hands. Phillips he's a powerful bull rusher who gets under blockers and punishes the pocket as a pass rusher. Listen, if you give him an arsenal of pass rushing moves besides just the bull rush, this kid's going to be dangerous. He's going to be great. He's only going to get bigger and stronger. He's still a kid. He powers through the outside shoulder and occasionally mixes in a spin move. But like I said, if he can get himself an array of pass rushing moves, this kid, I think he's going to be a star. I think he's going to be a star. Him and Kenneth Grant next to each other, that's a monster duo in the future. This is a A+ pick in my opinion. Where you picked him in the 5th round, A+ pick in my opinion. This kid is a monster. I love it. 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 And the fact that he is a team leader, he cares more about, he cares more about winning than he does stats. He cares about making his team better, his teammates better. He cares about himself being great. I love it. I love it. This is where the draft gets a little confusing for me, in my opinion. Next picks, we got Jason Marshall, cornerback out of Florida. I mean, there was just better players available. And I know corner is a position of need. It really is. Corner was a position of need. But let's be real. None of these players are going to come into the league and start at this point. None of these corners are going to. Jason Marshall is not going to be a starting corner for the Miami Dolphins this year. He's going to be probably no more than a special teams player. So, in my opinion, at this point in the draft, I'm going best player available over position need. Marshall started 39 games at Florida. He's at his best in pass coverage. He can recruit receivers, mirror the release, and shadow underneath. He reads the quarterback, sorts out route combinations, and breaks up the ball in zone. He's not a playmaker, though. He is not a playmaker. His arms are short. He flashes good timing and breaking up passes. And he's all right at jumping routes. To me 100% this was a reach. His ranking was 255. We took him at 150. He's got a decent size at 6 foot, 194 pounds. There's better players available. Bottom line, there was better players available. He's dealing with injuries. Players available when we picked him: Kobe Bryant, cornerback, Kansas; Dorian Strong, cornerback, Virginia Tech; Marcus Membu, guard, Purdue; Miles Frazier, guard, LSU; Chris Paul, linebacker, Ole Miss. All these players were available when we took him. I don't love this pick. Again, I think there was better value out there. I honestly do. I know I'm probably going to take some slack about this because I'm not in love with everything that the Miami Dolphins did, but listen, if there wasn't even if you thought Marshall was the best corner, which I don't think he was, I think Kobe Bryant's better. I think Dorian Strong's better. But even if he is the best corner, if he's not good value, then you don't take him. You don't take him. We needed more offensive line help. Marcus Membu, who can play guard and tackle, he's available. Miles Frazier, who's a good guard. Chris Paul. We're pretty set at the linebacker position, but Chris Paul was a top 5 linebacker in this draft. You know what I mean? Chris Paul was a top 5 linebacker in this draft. This is where you can really make your team better. This is the area of the draft that you can really make your team better by not reaching for players. You don't want to reach. Don't reach. Stop reaching. It's a position of need, yeah. But let's be real. Jason Marshall, there was a good chance he goes undrafted. There's a good chance that Jason Marshall goes undrafted. If Kobe Bryant went undrafted, which he was ranked 111 overall in this draft, Jason Marshall, with the injury concern, the fact that he's not a playmaker, the fact that he doesn't have elite speed, there's a good chance that he wasn't drafted. But that's my opinion. Now, Florida Gator fans, let us know. Is it Shake? Aren't you a Gator fan? You still in here? Let us know about Jason Marshall. Next on the board at pick, what was it, 155? This is another questionable pick to me. I have to say I like this pick better than I do the Jason Marshall pick. Is Dante Trader Jr., safety from Maryland. Oh, man. Again, he was – PFF says it's a below-average pick. Again, there was just better players on the board. There was better players on the board, in my opinion. You got – even at the safety position, I feel like R.J. Mickens from Clemson was a better prospect. Let me see. Trying to see who else was available at that time. Yeah, so RJ Mickens was available. Arenas Pebbles, defensive tackle, Virginia Tech. He was drafted the next round by the Baltimore Ravens. I bet you he becomes, and I really wanted to see Miami take him. I know we took 3 defensive tackles, but they were all the nose tackle types. None of them had big pass rusher numbers. I would have liked to seen us take Pebbles, the defensive tackle from Virginia Tech. He was more of a pass rushing defensive tackle. I bet you eventually he becomes a Pro Bowler with the Baltimore Ravens. I bet you he becomes a Pro Bowler with the Baltimore Ravens. He's a really good player. Dante Trader, he's an athlete, 2-star athlete at the University of Maryland. Obviously a teammate of Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips likes him, said he's a hard worker, a student of the game. So hopefully he can get better and prove me wrong. So at least he's a worker. At least he cares. Where with Jason Marshall, there's questions about how much he loves the game. You know what I mean? How much effort he gives. Trader is an undersized, but reads receivers and breaks on the ball good. He can disrupt passes and limits production after the catch. He doesn't catch everything he gets his hands on, but he locates and tracks the ball well. So he's not, he's gonna irritate you with some plays that he should probably intercept the ball, and he doesn't come up with it. He's relentless and tough run defender who wraps up and led Maryland with 37 solo tackles last year. He was actually a really low rated tackler, but last year he improved on it greatly and became one of the better tacklers on the team. Again, it was a reach though. He was ranked 270. We take him at 155. He's just a victim of there being better players on the board. Again, the safety position, you can argue if it was a position in need or not. I think it was, but I don't feel like Dante Trader is someone that is going to make a difference on this football team. Whereas there was other players on this team that I think could have eventually became starters. A Chris Paul Jr., Dorian Strong was still available, the corner from Virginia Tech. A lot of good players were still available, and this is another guy that could have went undrafted. So that had me scratching my head. I'm not gonna lie. That pick, the Jason Marshall pick, I give a D+. This pick, I'm giving a C-. I'm giving the Dante Trader pick a C-. So we got an A-, a B+, a A+, a D+, and a C-. Next pick is in the 6th round, right? Was it in the 6th round? Yeah, 6th round, pick 179. We take the running back, Oklahoma State, Ollie Gordon II. Listen, Ollie Gordon II came into the season, and they were talking about possible Heisman candidate. In 2023, he was absolutely phenomenal. He led the FBS in rushing yards and ranked 2nd in rushing touchdowns with over 1,700 yards. He's a big physical back with the size and strength to break tackles and carry defenders. That is something this team needs. That's something that this team has struggled with a revamped offensive line and a big bruising back. Hopefully we can eliminate the problems that we've had on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Hopefully we can eliminate the problems with short yards and distance to go. Ollie Gordon can be a difference maker immediately in those positions. He's a downhill runner who hugs his blocks and shows good bursts through the line of scrimmage. He's not a speed demon. He's not gonna break away. He's not gonna break a lot of long runs, but definitely someone that can get you them 2-3 yards on 3rd and 4th down. He's a reliable check down receiver, so he can be in the game on third down if you got to switch it from a run to a pass. He can become a receiving target for you. He can make plays after the catch. His technique needs to get better for teams to rely on him, but he has the size and strength to develop as a pass blocker. I like this pick a lot. It was again a position of need. It was an area of need. I'm not going to say position of need. I'm not going to say the running back position was a position of need. Well, I mean, it kind of was, but it wasn't a huge position of need. But Ollie Gordon, it's an area of need. An area that has been a problem for us for a long time is that down and short distance to go. A lot of it had to do with the offensive line. A lot of it had to do because we lack size and strength at the running back position. Now we have a player that fits that mold. Now we got running back, our offensive line that should be much improved in the middle. I like this pick. I think it was a solid pick. Scotty says his O-line was terrible last year, and Gordon took all the blame. I could see that. I like this pick a lot. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus. 6th-round pick. You get the former leading rusher in college football last year. Yeah, he had a down year this year, but he fills an area of need for us. The short down and distance. He can make an impact for us right away and help this team win right away. I like the pick. I like Ollie Gordon in the 6th round. I'm giving that a B plus. Next, this is gonna be the one that is gonna bring a lot of controversy because I've already heard it. I've already heard it that the savior for the Miami Dolphins is now here. I'm hearing all types of stuff. In the 7th round, pick 231, the Miami Dolphins select quarterback out of the University of Texas, Quinn Ewers. Oh, man. Listen, the value is here. The value is here for Quinn Ewers. I love the value of this pick. Quinn Ewers is a talented quarterback. Way talented, more talented than any quarterback you're typically going to see taken in the 6th, 7th round. Again, another guy that is on the cover of video games, and there was a lot of this kid. There was talk of him being one of the top quarterbacks coming into the draft, not into the draft, into the season. There was thoughts that, from prior drafts that in the future that Quinn Ewers is going to be a top pick in the 2025 draft. Obviously, his season this year didn't pan out like he would have liked it to. I would have liked to see him going back to college, and there was offers for him to transfer to North Carolina and be with Bill Belichick. I think that would have been huge for him in his career. I think he could have had another year to develop, and he wouldn't have been a 7th-round pick. But Quinn Ewers for the Miami Dolphins, you got to like the pick. Now, you're going to have the fan base, the Tua haters saying, oh, the savior's here. I've already heard it. The quarterback of the future is here. Watch, he's going to have Tua's job by midseason, blah, blah. Come on. Listen, Ewers had a strong supporting cast and one of the best college play callers at Texas. Yet he was unable to put it all together this year. He has the traits to develop into a starting quarterback, but he has dealt with injuries. He's won some big games and makes the difficult throws look easy. So the talent is there. The talent's there. He spins the ball well. He can throw into tight windows. And when he sets his feet, Ewers makes layered throws look easy. He can drop the ball in the bucket. He doesn't look as comfortable and as instinctive moving around the pocket this past season as he did in prior seasons. I don't know what that was about. But he showed against Michigan his ability to climb and find space outside and make off-platform throws. Ewers was also clutch in the college football playoff, following up a 28-yard touchdown pass on fourth down in the first overtime against Arizona State with a 25-yard touchdown pass to win the game in double overtime. So, I mean, he doesn't let the moment get too big for him. The kid's got great talent. He's 6'2", 214 pounds. So he's got decent size. He's got plenty of arm strength. He was ranked 111 overall. So for us to get him at 231 was an absolute steal. Listen, I can't lie. I can't lie. With where we drafted him and the amount of talent that he has, you got to love this pick. You got to love this pick. You got to love the value that we got in Quinn Ewers. Legit, if he would have went back to school this year, he could have came out next year and been a top pick in the draft. I think this kid is super talented. And to get him in the 7th round, that's a win for the Miami Dolphins. Do I think he's going to overtake Tua for his job? No. But do I think this kid, if Tua's on this team next year and Quinn Ewers is on this team next year and Tua goes down, do I think this kid has enough talent to get put into the game and them never to give the starting spot back to Tua? I think that's possible. Grandizer says, I disagree, Big C. Don't like the pick at all. Listen, like I said, everybody's not gonna like the same picks. You can't make everybody happy. I understand that you don't agree. You know what I mean? I think the kid's got talent. Yeah, most players in the 7th round aren't even making the team. They're practice squad players. So they get Quinn Ewers, who has the capabilities of developing into a starting quarterback. I don't think that's a bad pick. Grandizer, I see that's what in the 7th round, you're not going to fill them needs. We're talking about special teamers now. In the 7th round, you're talking about special teamers. We're talking about special teamers. You're not getting a starting quality. You're half the time you're not even getting a backup quality player in the 7th round. You know what I mean? Grandizer, hey, I agree. But hey, listen, we all know that Tua's probably not long for this team just because of his injury history. So let's say Quinn Ewers shows something in this season. Let's say Tua gets hurt and Quinn Ewers comes into the game and he blows people's socks off. We don't have to waste a future first-round pick on a quarterback anymore. We got one in-house. Super cheap. I just, 7th round picks aren't very valuable to me. I think with the value for Quinn Ewers, I'm all right with that pick. I like that pick. I think it's a good pick by the Miami Dolphins. But again, you can disagree, and that's cool. That's cool. Can we make sure we hit that like button today? Yeah, we grabbed Ewers in the 7th. And then with our final pick of the NFL draft, I give this pick a B plus. I give this pick a B plus. The value is there. The value is there. I love the pick. In the 7th round, you get Quinn Ewers. He's got talent. Go watch him. Go watch him on John Gruden's thing on YouTube. As soon as you're done here, watch him with John Gruden. Watch his quarterback club with John Gruden right after you leave here. And our last pick, you got Zeke Biggers, defensive tackle, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. Our 3rd defensive tackle of the draft. Listen, another behemoth of a man. It's hard to find nose tackles for NFL football teams because there's just not a lot of human beings in the world that can do what these guys can do. They're big. Most of the time, they're pretty agile. Just huge human beings that can move. And there's not that many human beings in the world that can do that. So, the Miami Dolphins get their 3rd one of this draft. Are we going a little too deep into it? Maybe. But I mean, could we have went corner here? Could we went safety here? Could we have went another position in need here? Yeah, but I mean, again, people begging for that defense, the trenches, and we definitely address the defensive tackle position. That's for sure. Now, I would have loved to see Willie Lampkin here. If it was me, I would have picked Willie Lampkin here over Zeke Biggers. I think that would have been. I would have liked that pick better, but Zeke Biggers is a decent football player. He was a 2-year starter at Georgia Tech. 6'6", 321 pounds, just monster of a man. Excellent size, long arms. He needs to play with better pad level and improve his ability to get off blocks, but he's a space eater. He is a space eater. But he can develop into an effective interior run stuffer in the NFL. Biggers looks out and pushes blockers into the backfield. He's quick for his size, allowing him to get into the gaps and disrupt plays in the backfield. He bats down passes, rushing the passer, and he also blocked 4 kicks in college. So at the very least, this guy is going to be a special team contributor right out the gate. And to get someone that's going to help your team right out the gate in the 7th round of the draft, that's a win. That's a win. And then if you can develop Zeke Biggers behind Jordan Phillips, behind Kenneth Grant, that's great trade value right there. That's great trade value. Later on down the road, you can get great trade value for a nose tackle. Because like I said, they're not easy to find. They're not easy to find. And, you put Zeke Biggers on the field with Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant's going to take that double team. That's going to leave one blocker for Zeke Biggers. One blocker is not enough to stop Zeke Biggers. One blocker is not enough to stop Kenneth Grant. One blocker is not enough to stop Jordan Phillips. So pick your poison. Pick your poison. That's got to be in Chris Grier's mind. I like the pick. Again, I think we would have been better off taking Willie Lampkin, another offensive guard, center, another player of that along the offensive line. But I like the pick. I think Willie Lampkin would have been a better option, but I still like Biggers. I think Biggers is a good player. I am very sad that we didn't get Willie Lampkin. I'm very sad that we didn't pick up Kobe Bryant when he went undrafted. But what do y'all think? Was the draft a success to you? I definitely think it was. I'm going to give this draft a B. A B. Not a B minus, not a B plus, a B. And the only reason it's a B is because of the gap that we had in the middle of this draft. From the end of the third round to the sixth round, I think this draft was not very good for us. But the first two rounds, and Jordan Phillips in the fifth, and then the seventh round picks, I'm okay with. I'm going to give it a B. If we could have got a Cam Scatterbo, if we didn't trade away the number 116, or, we would have had to move up from 116. If we could have added a Cam Scatterbo or, a decent corner in the third, late third, early fourth, I think this draft would have been even that much better, probably an A minus. But I like this draft. I think Chris Grier did a pretty good job. He picked us an extra third up next year. I'm not mad. You can't complain about this draft. I'm not sure if Clay Webb got picked up or not. But what do you guys think? What's your grades? What's your grades on the draft? Again, I apologize. I got a little uppity a little earlier. Again, maybe I wasn't expressing myself the proper way. Maybe I wasn't saying what my mind was telling me. You know what I mean? Grandizer, I disagree. I think Scatterbo can be a starting running back, like a number one back. You know what I mean? What's my take on Grier being on the hot seat after this draft, or McDaniel? To be honest, I think Chris Grier might be setting a trap for Mike McDaniel with the latest Jalen Ramsey comments that he's cool with the general manager, and that there's a real issue with Mike McDaniel, that Jalen Ramsey and Mike McDaniel can't stand each other. I think Chris Grier is going to try to use that to tell Stephen Ross, hey, listen, I've gotten him the players he's asked for. He's got an issue with the team, not me. Do I think they're on the hot seat? I don't think there's a possible way that they are. I don't think there's a possible way they are. I think if this season's not successful, I think that Chris Grier comes out and says, hey, this was part of the plan. We knew that we had to retool. We did that. And I fully think that they expect to compete next year. But I do think this was a soft rebuild. I think Chris Grier knows about it. I think Stephen Ross knows about it. I think they're in on it. So I don't think they're on the hot seat. I don't think they are. Who's their running back one, Grandizer? I don't know if I consider a 5'9", 185-pound back your running back number one. Good morning, Irving. Good morning. But again, Scotty, no hard feelings. Again, maybe I wasn't expressing myself the correct way. My feelings on the draft or my feelings about the pick. But I'm sorry you got a little salty, a little heated there for a second. But that's what happens sometimes when you're talking about something that you're passionate about. Sometimes people get a little feisty when, you know what I mean? I'm very passionate about this team. This team matters to me. I love this team. When they struggle, it hurts me immensely. And when they do stuff that I think is stupid, it hurts me. You know what I mean? Grandizer, we can agree to be wrong. I love HN. I think he's very talented back, but I think he could be more explosive and a better value if he was used more sparingly. He's not a number one back. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I appreciate that, Scotty. But what's your grades on the draft? Let me know. Make sure you hit that like button. We're going to talk about undrafted free agents tomorrow. Which ones might have a legit shot of making the team, which ones we like, which ones we would have liked to see pick up. We're also going to discuss free agents available. Hopefully the Miami Dolphins, as of today, go out and grab some, because today is the first day that, it doesn't affect the comp picks. So hopefully Chris Grier is on the phone, ready to make moves today before other teams go up and grab them. What up, Anthony? I mean, we didn't take 6 defensive tackles. We took 3, right? Or are you talking about underdrafted people? Thor Griffith. Yeah, I mean, we got so many defensive tackles now. Then you're going too fast, and I can't read. I hope so, Scotty. I hope we go out and get. I hope we have a corner in mind that we really love, and we go and get them. We don't want to wait on the leftovers again. You know what I mean? I'm hoping we go get someone immediately. You know what I mean? I hope we go out and get someone today. I hope we get someone today. Please make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this into the next algorithm. Let's continue to grow. Again, we'll discuss undrafted free agents tomorrow, and hopefully Miami makes some free agent signings today at the cornerback position. But if not, we'll discuss who's available and who we'd like to bring in. But until then, folks, I will see y'all later, and I love you all. Big C, you should look at the trading box and see. All right, yeah, I'll take a look at it. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for stopping in. Listen, this is a step in the right direction. We didn't have a bad draft. We had a very successful draft, in my opinion. You know what I mean? We had a very successful draft, in my opinion. We got some good young players in the trenches, which is huge. This is something that we don't normally do. We normally don't address the trenches. And that's where championship teams are built, is in the trenches. And we finally started to address the trenches this year. Hopefully, we don't ignore it in future years because we addressed it this year. You continue to add pieces. And then eventually you become a team like the Philadelphia Eagles that you have replacements and you have great depth also. So like I said, I give this draft a B plus, and I'm very happy with it. I think we got a lot of players that can help this team immediately. And the Jordan Phillips is probably my number one pick. That's probably my favorite pick of this draft because he's just got so much potential. He can legit have the best career of any of these guys. And I'm very happy. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. And you know what it is. Fins up, baby. Peace.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me.